Hi Internet, Orc speaking, welcome back to the channel. Yet again, it is that time again. Yes, today's topic, well, for the lack of a better term, I want to know your guys' opinion. I know that some of you guys are in school. I was seriously debating removing and replacing some of the tracks inside of Mario Kart Wii. Not all of them. I want it to be Mario Kart as much as I can. Like, a lot of the luck-based tracks in the game, they need to be changed, they need to be modified, as well as the fact that some of the tracks are just unsalvageable to the point where if I would have to basically remake the track. The first track that comes to mind is Raceway. Raceway is completely busted in every way, shape, and form. In order to salvage that track, I'm gonna have to add so much more garbage. But then again, adding a new track is like, you know, I'm not even sure if we should do that. Is that ethical? There's some things to definitely consider. I think one thing I'd like to do, which I'm not going to be able to do today because the actual modeling portion of the game, that's taken care of my brother. So basically today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing out some custom tracks. Could you elaborate on why Raceway is a garbage track? Raceway is a rough track because half the track is off-road, and that makes it so it's a long track. It's good balance of item sets. The main reason is the entire back half portion. You could save about 10 seconds, which no matter how good of a player you are, you cannot make up 10 seconds just by driving. You can't. That's physically impossible. You could have world record lines. Someone with a golden could just catch right back up to you. There is no rhyme or reason on that track. It's all it's all dependent on the shock cycle. It's all dependent on what items you get and how lucky you get. That's the biggest problem with Raceway. The entire half track, the entire track is basically a shortcut. So there's a ring, which is the track, and then there's a really tight ring, which you could just golden around. That's not good, because you could save so much time just by being bad at the game on Raceway, which is not good. You never want to encourage being bad at the game. You could, being lucky is part of the game, but you don't want to encourage that. Does that make sense? My limitation is currently today, all I could change is I could replace tracks with custom tracks, and I could modify respawn points, item sets, and objects on a specific track. I cannot add anything to a track. Like, I could duplicate items, but I can't remodel something, for instance. That would take a little bit more time. And also, that's something my brother would do. I tell my brother to do that because he's better with Blender. He's much faster with Blender than I ever could be. There's some things to consider in that sense. Also, one thing I'm going to need to know how to do is change the text of this. If anyone knows how to change the text, and also it'd be nice if I could change the video too as well. I'd record another video if I could figure out what the file is and how to replace it. Like, I'd like to do a really good job for this. But that will only come until after if we actually decide. Okay, that's not good. I don't know, I've been getting that error. I'm gonna have to find out what error that is. Okay, this is Camp Cardigan. It's a pretty long track, in that sense. You could also get down on the bottom path, down there, on the road. Do ultra lap. I don't know any shortcuts on this track. I feel like the top path would be... There's a sign in the middle. I mean, minor gripe here, but that's not supposed to be there. I don't know, that's weird. I'm gonna have gripes about that. It's cool for a custom track, but for an RT, I'm not sure. Like, this is a great custom track, don't get me wrong. And it has a double fork. It has a double fork. This is a TS spot for sure. Actually, no, they made it so it's really close, so you can't get TS there. That's interesting. How do you respawn? Okay, so the respawn is good. I like that they have this little piece right here where you put... Yeah. I feel like if we're going by just, looks, this nails it. It does look good enough to be an RT, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know, something about this... It still reeks... Is that weird to me? It still feels like a custom track. It's a very well-polished custom track. Very well-polished. And I would actually argue in some places better than an RT. But it still feels like a custom track. I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. The track, my biggest gripe with the track, too big. Way too big. Look at how wide the roads are. Scaling is very important when it comes to game development, and when it comes to having a game that feels real and feels alive. Like, the track is just way too big. I'm being nitpicky with that, but it really is just too big. The track is way too big. Maybe it could replace something else. I don't think so. Like, why is there a trick set? Is there an item set here? Because this makes it so you can't go backward beyond this point. So it's not going to be a good bagging track. I'm going to put this underneath the... Still a CT. Polished CT. Still is... And I know I might be a little harsh. I actually really like Camp Cardigan personally, but it's missing what I need inside of a track. It's still a custom track. Not looking too promising. This is not the one that's in ctgp, is it? Yeah, I don't know how to play this course, by the way. Don't judge my driver. It's different. Yeah, the one in ctgp looks way better, but it's basically the same layout. So I'll take the graphics into consideration. It looks very weird. This is an older version for sure. And this is the cannon. I remember that. You could trap the cannon. I remember. This is a downward spiral. This is a problem. You can't have that. That's like free trap spot. Yeah, I'd have a fit if this was in the game. The angles are too sharp as well. This is a problem with a lot of retros that are imported close to 1-to-1. This turn right here. With a flame runner, this turn is fine. With an off-roader, this turn is impossible. And also this part is too tall. Yeah, I know I'm being nitpicky here, but I kind of have to be because it's effectively going from a CT to an RT, and I need to have something that fits that. The fire wheels, obviously, I remember inside of the proper build that's not fire wheel like that. Owl Creek would be a good replacement to Royal Raceway. Royal Raceway might not be a bad idea. Yeah, that's a track. That's no. Not the track. When it comes to CTs, well, I'm using a different metric for CTs and RTs. Just keep that in mind, okay? Don't get mad at me. I know I may sound really nitpicky, but it has to be perfect. I'm looking for something that is perfect or close to it that I could just change to make it perfect. Oh, it's this one. No, I don't even have to. I've played this one before. It's missing a lot of, like... I wish I could use more technical terminology for this. Yeah, this doesn't work. It has a lot of things going for it. The main problem, though, is the aesthetic. I think for this track, it's the aesthetic... And also there's some jank stuff where you could trick, like, intended jank stuff. That's what a lot of CTs have problems with when I try to transition them as an RT. Well, I'm doing this process, that's what I'm beginning to realize. They are amazing CT tracks. But there is some jank-ass stuff that is intended to be... So there's like a path switch where you go from one end to the other, which is an intended shortcut. It's intended, and it's very clear that it's intended. And also there's a part where you have to ride on top of the volcano. There's no barrier, you just kind of have to feel it. Of how far you could go, and as a casual player, that's not good. There's a lot of little things that don't work with this track. It falls into the same category as Camp Cardigan though. Still, next, Desert Fort. If this is what I think it is, then that's a no as well. Yeah, that's a no. I've seen this, yeah, no. Even the updated version, no. Infernal Pipe Yard. Who suggested this? I remember playing this back in like 2018. I don't know why you would suggest that. I don't know what you're thinking at that point. Calamari does it. I remember playing this one a long time ago. Yeah, this is the old version. Isn't there a newer version? Yeah. This one is like more inspired by, if I remember correctly, more inspired by the Maple Tree Way. Not Maple Tree, Mario Kart Toy. It's a bit big. I think we're beginning to see a reoccurring theme here. It's a bit big. Like, Raceway is probably one of the longer tracks. It's one of the longer tracks inside of an RT. This thing's like, it feels almost twice the size. It's probably not, but it feels like twice the size. Like, if someone could make a stockier, chubbier version of this. But as of right now, yeah, that's not, no. The track is way too long. Also, I remember playing this track when it was on ctgp. There's too many item sets spread apart from each other. I had high hopes for Calamari. That actually sucks. Waluigi Pinball. Oh boy, okay. I think the version 4.0, this one right here. Okay, yeah. This one has some problems. I do remember this one having problems. Okay, so you enter the cannon. Cannon right at the start of the track. The road is really wide here for no good reason. The arc is not smooth. I know they're trying to make it, accurate to the original. I understand that. This slanted point is a little jank as well. Makes the drift angles around here a little bit different. You have to think a little bit more when you come around here. This spot is also really stupid because you could actually miss this trick and some weird stuff happens around here. These item boxes are really easy to miss. This curve is stupid because it actually starts in such a way. You actually saw it. I don't know why I went backward. This arc starts with a good angle and then it tightens up because they tried to make it a little bit sharper. This does not work in Mario Kart. Mario Kart Wii has consistent arcs around everything. Inside of GameCube, inside of other things, they have variable, so they could get tighter and sharper. And oftentimes, most turns, you have a lot of play to do it. Look at that. No. Nope. That's something. That ramp, you sometimes get air for no apparent reason. And this one, you have two realignment here. You have a 90 degree, which is going uphill, mind you. 9 hill flattens out, and then you do another 90 degree. Well, actually, this is a U-turn, actually. Then there's this big open section. This big open section, inside of Mario Kart DS, here, let me compare it. I'm probably mentioned like a million things already wrong with this, but this one, Waluigi Pinball, the one in the DS version, here's something you have to consider. Yeah, watch the difference. When you try to do a 1-to-1 recreation, it plays a lot better inside of DS. Check this out. Because inside of this game... Oh, is he gonna tone? Oh, he's just toning. Okay. Look at the scale. It does not feel anywhere near as big because it feels like in the DS version, every kart feels super miniaturized relative to the speed that they're going. So it doesn't feel big, even though it's the same size. This up and down, this part is just a little jank. Now watch this arc. I want to see how he does this arc. Look at how quickly you fall. Item boxes are relative. Look, there's only 4 of them. Compare that. This is the size difference. There's 4 item boxes there. You come over here, there's 6. Yeah, 6. And then look at how big the gaps are. Look at the size of the item box differences. You don't realize how small Mario Kart Wii is until you like compare it against these things. Like you have this does not feel big. It feels like about the right size. It's comfortable. But in Mario Kart Wii, it feels ginormous, even though relatively the kart to track size is about the same. This big open section, yeah. It still feels big, but like you still feel a little bit in there. And also the thing about the DS is they have a mini-map, so you could see your general like location much better and much easier than a lot of other games. So the big open sections don't matter so much. I don't play much DS, but this looks right. This like the scale, they messed up some parts. Even Nintendo doesn't get it perfect all the time. That's much better and it fits the game a whole heck of a lot cleaner than whatever the hell this is. Because at parts, this part is too small, but at the same time, it's too big back there. The scaling is really hard to get right. This part section, this is a free run for the flame monitor. One thing to consider inside of Mario Kart Wii is there's different classes of vehicles. It just feels too big. Look at how this thing, you could fit like the entire squad and there'll be room. I mean, this one you could too, technically, but it feels so much tighter, even though it's actually the same size. So that's just like the way that the game is felt. It has a huge impact. So no, I'm not even gonna bother downloading. There's already too many things wrong with this. The camera angle is also different in Mario Kart Wii. So it may look at how big that looks compared to that. This thing's ginormous. Regardless of how it looks, not only the way it feels off, but if you just take that into, even competitively, a wide road means that you have very little to defend yourself with, right? You can't outmaneuver red shells on corners. You're oftentimes normally at the mercy of just going straight and hoping that no one bomb snipes you. There's a lot of things that just rub me the wrong way about this. So no,